guys. Let's talk about trailers here for a second. I own three trailers, and the first one that I ever had was this trailer right here that was gifted to me by Plumber Gilbert. It's a little 3,500 pound 6 by 12, I think is what we have here. And it was in pretty rough shape when I got it. I put a new tongue jack on it, a little utility box, put new wood, made the tailgate back here for it. Painted these wheels bright red. It's got brand new bearings in it, new seals. Built these protection for the lights on the back. And this has been a really good trailer. I will never sell this trailer ever. It's too useful. And it is one of my favorite trailers. Now the second trailer I got, it came from my dad. It was my dad's trailer. He bought that trailer back in 1985. I believe it was a BigTex. It was a white trailer. And when I went to get that trailer after my dad passed away, and the blue Ford tractor, I had put a little bit of work into that trailer before I ever brought it home. So here's some of the things I did to that trailer. Changed all of the tires out. I put new wheel bearings on it, new seals. And initially I kept the wood on it because it was in still pretty good shape. I redid all the wiring on it. It had been sitting a pretty good long time out in this field. And that is also one that I don't think that I'm ever going to get rid of. I also recently just put new wood on it. And she's in really good shape right now. Now the third trailer I own is this 20-footer right here. I bought this trailer sometime after I bought my land, and it was in okay shape. I was going to rent a Bobcat and a forestry machine, and when I got there they told me it was $1,000 a day or 8 hours, and I was ready to rent it. But I was hoping that they had a trailer for me to move it on, and they did not rent a trailer as well. So I started looking for trailers. Something that would be easier to tow my dad's tractor with, that was long enough, and if I ever needed some heavy equipment, I needed something that was strong enough to hold it. 14,000 pounds what I was looking for. So I found this one right here, and it wasn't too expensive, so I started repairing the whole thing, trying to make it like new. So I thought this 14,000 pound trailer was going to do the trick. And after I bought it, I used it a couple times to haul my tractor around with. But after I put my building on it, I never did use it again, really. So now after working on putting this septic system in, and me and neighbor Mark went and got 2 loads of rock in my dad's trailer. The first load that we unloaded, that you see right here, that I'm putting in this trench, really that was all Mark. I was in the Bobcat, and Mark was hand shoveling it out as I was lifting the tongue of it. After I got it up as high as I could lift it, I couldn't get out of the Bobcat. He went ahead and hand shoveled the rest of that out for me. The second load, we left it on the trailer, and you can see me here trying to get that off with Gilbert's tractor. It worked. Well, I mean to tell you, that was a lot of work. And I told myself I'm not going to do that again. What I was going to do is sell this big 20-footer use that to fund buying a used dump truck. And I knew what I was wanting. I was wanting a 14,000 pound 7x14 dump trailer. And I kind of knew what I wanted at that point, that it needed to have a tailgate that I could drag rock with. Because as I build my road there in Perrin, I'm going to need to be able to do that. My first attempt at finding a used one, I found this one here on Facebook. All right, so before I'm going to show you that one that I had was looking at on here, of course it's sold already. I was really looking for something used, something that's a fixer-upper, really. And everything that I could find on here was new to almost new. And a lot of them on here have the 3-foot sides here that I really don't like. Gosh, that's probably 4 feet. And 7x12, that's too small. Like this one here. Check this out. $11,000. This is a 16-foot. It's a little longer than I want. Brand new, right here close in Grand Prairie. So when you open this up, that's a really well-built trailer. That is $11,000. It is a 10-inch I-beam frame. That is nothing to sneeze at there. 10-gauge sidewalls, 7-gauge floor. It's got the gravel gate on the back, so it's got barn doors and gravel. And you know, that's a nice trailer right there. Big axles. So, look at that floor. That's solid. And it's got these D-rings right here to hold the door open. That's really well built. So I didn't see anything like that, but again, I wasn't really looking to spend $11,000. I wanted to spend probably $4,000 or $5,000 on something used, and I could fix it up. There's a bunch of these in here, and you end up clicking on a lot of stuff that they're renting it, or $1,500 down. Here's a little Norsar, which is a iron bull, I believe. It is, that's for rent only. Okay. What else do we have here? 2023 new 14-foot dump trailer, 4-foot sidewalls, 11.3. That's just too tall. That's good for hauling brush, right? Gooseneck. I don't want a gooseneck. So here's what I ended up talking to a guy about right here. So check this out. It was a PJ trailer, and PJ makes a great trailer. It was pretty darn roasted. When you got to look at it closer, you know, initially the picture showed that he was missing the tire on one side, and he said it probably needed a spindle on it, and that's not a big deal. But look at it. It is flat out used hard. So the guy wanted $6,500 for this thing, and I was thinking, man, I'm in about $4,000. So I offered him $4,000. He said, no way, you're crazy. This thing's worth way more than that. Even with the repairs, you should only have $1,000 worth of repairs. And I'm thinking, $1,000? There's no way. But we're talking battery, we're talking lighting was not working. It's just going to be worn out. And so he didn't come off that price on it. The tongue box was missing the lid completely. There's no telling if the hydraulic works, so I did not buy that one. So I decided to go ahead and jump on Ritchie Brothers auction site and see if they had any trailers for sale here locally in Fort Worth. And sure enough, one popped up, this little BigTex trailers. And I've heard of BigTex and seen them around before. They are very well built as well. So I went ahead and put a $8,000 bid on that automatic bid. It was a timed auction, and it started on a Tuesday, and the end of the auction was on Thursday, the same day they do their regular live auctions. I had the winning bid all the way until Thursday morning, and somebody outbid me. And that's probably a good thing. The winning bid was $10,500. The fee to Ritchie Brothers on top of that was another $1,000, so they paid $11,500 for that trailer. That's almost the price of that new trailer. Did end up calling BigTex and had them email me a quote on that exact same trailer. And the base price of that trailer was $11,840, and there was a spare tire fee of $339. There was they charged you a document prep of $58, P&H fee, whatever that is, $4.75. Trailer prep for $85, whatever that is. Freight for $30, whatever that is. And labor, just a random labor for $12. The total price for them was $13,303. That's for a trailer they had in stock at their yard here in Fort Worth. So back to Facebook Marketplace I went to look for a trailer. And since Facebook Marketplace cyberstalks you, an ad came up for Texas Pride trailers. And I heard of Texas Pride. I've seen them around before, and they have a really good reputation. So I went online. Their base trailer there for the 14,000 GVW trailer was like $8,600. So I called them up immediately and asked them about that. And that's their base trailer. It's kind of light duty. It's painted with enamel paint. They don't even use a really good paint. I'm not knocking enamel, but it's not as good as a single stage urethane or powder coating like all the top line do. So once we added ramps, a spare tire, that trailer was at $9,100. That seemed like a fair enough price, but then after comparing to the big mothers, that trailer is not built nearly as well. And you can see right here the tongue box, it doesn't have any place to put anything in there. So at this point, another search on Facebook yielded a Lamar trailer, which I've never heard of before, made right here in Texas. Here's the story behind this little four-wheeler. Plumber Gilbert had that, and he gave it to me. It wasn't running. It was in sorry shape. It had been sitting outside for a long time, and it was all in pieces. Tires were dry rotted. So I tried to see if I could get it running. It wasn't getting any spark. Turns out that the piston rings were stuck on it. But, you know, I didn't want Gilbert just to trash it, because really the whole thing was in pretty good shape for being as old as it is, 94. So I put a piston in it and put a CDI module coil, and the magneto was still good in it. But I just did this. I'm going to turn it and sell it. Probably won't make much money on it, but it's better than throwing it away. So there that is. I found a young man on Facebook selling a Lamar trailer like this one here, 1 year old, and he had it initially listed for $12,000. I offered $9,000, he wouldn't take it. And after doing some research on this trailer, man, they are really, really built well. So I offered him $11,000, and he would not take that. The next thing I was going to do was call around and find out where I could buy a new Lamar and how much they cost brand new. And so I found out there was a local dealership up north of here that had one, and it was all decked out, ready to go. It was $12,200 brand new. And you can see the prices of used ones and these new ones are just not that far off. The other big players in this game are going to be Iron Bull. There's going to be, of course, BigTex and Diamond C. A little more expensive than this, and they all have about the same. You can order them with the same options: 8-inch I-beam frames, 7-gauge, 10-gauge, however you want to play it out. But I ended up buying this Lamar trailer, and it is a real beauty. Take a look at it. after all that consideration, this is what I ended up buying, and it's a beauty. Let me go over some of the nice things about this trailer real quick. I got the 14 foot, 7 foot wide, 14 GVW Lamar. So at first glance, when you're looking at it, this one is powder coated, which I think is a great thing. People have their yes and no's about that. But you know, here's one thing. So look at the beefiness of the front of this trailer right here. Real nice adjustable, super heavy duty. The welds look great. Got these little chain holders. It's got the large tongue jack, 8-inch I-beams on this thing. And one thing that Lamar did when they were building this, from what I understand, is the previous models had a smaller tongue box and it housed just the hydraulic tank. And what Lamar did was they extended this tongue on this thing a little bit so they could make a bigger box. And I don't think any of them have it like this, except Lamar. It's got a real nice hydraulic ram holding this up, real heavy duty, a slot so you can close this and bring the cable out or hide your trailer connector in here. But they made a compartment up front. How clever is that? I don't know that any other ones have that. You can store your stuff in here, and here's the hydraulic assembly. The charger's on that side over there, and I have yet to pull the battery out. It works. I don't know how old it is. I don't know how long it's been sitting here. Deep cycle batteries kind of last about a year, maybe a little longer, because it doesn't seem like it fully charges up. When I check this right here, it's been charging all night, all day, and I get that on it. So So a pretty nice feature here with their hydraulics is you can power up and down, or you can go down without using the pump. You just open the valve and it drops down. That way you can save the battery. Pretty nice feature. This one here is magnetic, so you could hook it onto anything metal like this. And I think this cable is probably long enough to get in the truck so I could work it from inside the truck. It came with a tarp. I don't know that I'll ever use that, but it came with it. Look at the sides on this thing, how they do this. Look, it's just beautiful. The welds are beautiful. This top rail is super beefy. Got stake holders. But these stiffener rails right here, they go, hey, why don't we just include a little place to latch something on here? Very nice, all the way down. It's got 7-gauge floor in it. That is thick. I think the rest of it's 10-gauge, but it's got a 7-gauge floor on it. It does have a 3-way tailgate on it. It'll open up like barn doors, like normal. It'll dump with the chain, so you can dump rock like a regular dump truck would. And if you unpin the top, it does roll down. I don't know that I'd ever need that. I bet that's heavy. The ramps are tucked in here, and I haven't had them all the way out yet, but they feel heavy just to even move. So they're pretty beefy. He included the spare tire with it. None of them really do that generally. Spare tire was with it. And what I did on that was I called him and said, hey, I want to pick that trailer up. And I said, I can put it on my credit card and give you cash, whatever you prefer. He goes, well, I prefer a check. It'd be nice. Can check or cash. And I said, well, I get 2% off of my credit card. And he goes, well, I'll tell you what, I'll throw the spare tire in. I think that's about $300. He threw the spare tire in on it. The price on this little jewel was $12,200 plus tax. It's a great trailer. Let's raise this thing up real quick. So check out the beef of this thing. This thing is really beefy. You know the drawback having some of this stout is it weighs a lot, I'm sure. I'm fixing to go get some rock. We'll see how much it weighs probably. I'll ask him what the whole combination weighs. But it has a standard little lift piece that if you have to do any work underneath there, you can lift this up and drop it into that little capture right there. All the wiring, my gosh, look at that. That wiring over there is all captured with those nice weld-in holders. On this side, they're all clipped in on little clips that are made on there. It's just very, very nice. And look at the size of this ram on this thing. It is a monster. It's got to be an 8 or a 10-inch hydraulic ram. Super nice. So some of the ones I noticed when I was driving down the freeway and looking at these, their frames don't even continue past a certain point. It's really weird. That would be pretty light duty. This is kind of overkill for me, but you know what? It'll last forever. GVRW is 14,000. GAWR 7 per axle. Doesn't look like there's a total trailer weight though. All right, here's what happens when you just open it without using the pump. The valve opens when you push it and it goes down. And people say that it's slow. It's, you know, I'm not in a hurry. Watch. So there you have it, Lamar trailers. I think they're out of Paris, Texas. Beautiful trailer. Oh, one other thing, when I was checking on these to see if, see who had one, there's a place in Weatherford over here just outside of Fort Worth that sells them, because you can't buy them from Lamar. And there was a place north of Denton, a little town called Aubrey, and Aubrey Trailer Sales. And I called Weatherford first, a little bit closer, and Weatherford didn't have one. He said, I just sold one, a special order for one for a customer, sold it, and if I order you one right now, it'll be in here in probably a month. And I was like, crap. So I called up Aubrey Trailer Sales, and he had one. Guy was super nice. But I think that's it for now. I'm headed out to Perrin. We're going to get some rock in this thing, and we'll see how she works. Let's check this out. Alright, so this is a little airbag kit for the back of my truck. Help when I have a little bit too much payload in the back. So let's go put it on real quick. Here's all the components for one side. The first step is to remove this bumper stop right here on the frame. Look how beefy that bracket is. It's pretty nice. And it appears to be powder coated. heat shield. There is an upper locating pin on the back side of this that comes up through a hole. It has to be lined up in that hole, otherwise it could mess this bag up. All right, I think I'll zip tie this to this hitch, come across over here to the other side, and then put the T in for it on the driver's side over there of the bumper. Okay, this hose is coming from the passenger side. Got it all nice and tucked up in there. This one here is coming from the driver's side. I've got it all tucked in. I put the T right here, and that T was separate. I had to buy it separately. And then I've got a little bracket right here holding it in place, and I've got an existing hole in this bumper right here. So I think I'll use a couple of fender washers here to make that hole small enough to where I can put this right in there. So let's try that. Okay, that's at 30 psi. I'll check it for some leaks, and I think we're about done. Okay, so that kit was really easy to put in. It wasn't the least expensive kit on Amazon, but it almost was. But when I look up this company here at torqueusa.com, all this stuff is made in the USA. They make their own bags as well. There's videos on it. So let's go try it out. Okay, she towed really, really good. This was only about 2.5 tons of this septic rock. I want to dump it right here and use it for various things. All right, let's see if this trailer is going to work. they put these big tie downs here on the outside and make a little deal here to where you just take it and latch it around and that holds it perfectly. Plus you could use that as a tie down across the back if you needed to. There's no chains hanging down. It's not one of those little cheap little T things that go in there. That's outstanding. Oh boy, that was easy. The first scratch is in there. A little look underneath it here. Look at that large ram. Here's a good look at those ramps right there. Oh, you know, one more thing I wanted to mention about this too is these wheel hubs. They have the cap in here, a little rubber cap, so that all you have to do is you can grease it. If you keep these greased, man, you don't have to take this apart at all to repack the bearings. You just keep it nice and greased up. Okay, let's drop this down and go get another load. Check this out right here. This is right at 5 tons of this road base. And really it's about everything I think I feel good carrying in here. The tires are kind of bulging a little bit. Okay, that worked great. That is a big load of rock right there. So I'm going to get one more of these, another 5 tons. And these both came out of the same pile, but this was in a different area. It looks like it's got more of that 1-inch type rock in it. This 1.5-inch road base, you know, that's good. It's a little big. I think this will be a little better use. And I just got some septic rock just for the heck of it. So one more 5-tonner and we'll be done. That was 5 loads, and that all was right at $200 for all of that rock. That's 20 tons right there is what that is, 20 tons of rock. And you know, that Lamar trailer did great. If you guys are watching this video at Lamar, thank you. I mean, you guys make a great trailer, and it's competitively priced. You know what I wish you would do though is back here in the back, I'm gonna have to make it. I'm gonna have to see if I can find a pipe tubing that will fit up in there, that I can drill a hole in, and I could put some holes in that piece of tubing so I could put some jacks on the back, so, you know, sort of adjustable, what have you. It looks like that might be an option since there's a hole right here. If I could just find a piece of pipe, square tubing that would fit in there, put a flat plate on the bottom, that way when I'm loading the Bobcat up, I can drop those down. I kind of thought it came with those, but I can't complain about it. Just on those 5 loads, that's about a 20-25 minute drive over to Jacksboro and 20 minutes back. I did 5 times, 5 loads. You can see what's happening here on these axles. They're trying to seep out some of that grease. That one there. But you know, what are you going to do? I mean, do those caps just shove in there and they're as good as they can get. This is why you have to maintain that stuff, because the grease is going to seep out, whatnot. Bearings getting hot, the grease is getting thin. So, we'll clean this all up, but boy, she sure did work good. Thank you. Thank you, Lamar. So I think that's going to do it for this video, guys. It was, I know it's kind of an expensive piece for somebody, but I'll get so much use out of this. I sold that other trailer I ended up selling it for $3,800. I put that towards this, and plus after I sold the Bronco, it really allowed me to afford to buy this, and I will be able to get a lot more use really out of this trailer than I ever got out of the last few years of the Bronco. Plus that Bronco money will also go toward a water well out here, which is happening pretty soon. So we'll put a video on that real quick. So thanks guys for watching. It's really sorely appreciated, and we'll see you guys on the next one.